So we'll have a new president in more or less 24 hours here. What do you think should be on top of the agenda for Marcos Jr. here, especially when it comes to the labor market?
Well, actually, in the labor market, we would like to see that finally that the antiquated labor code that we have can be changed, no? and there are some issues that are pending, like issues on contractualization, for instance, banning everything. Those should be settled already, and in the employment sector, we in ECOP have joined the multisectoral and the government in creating jobs. Last year, we promised that we will create to them 1 million jobs. We did not meet that last December, but in March we were able to meet the 1 million jobs, and then we promised again that this year we will do another 1 million jobs, and we're on top of that already.
Okay, let's zero in on contractualization here, sir. Sir, what exactly do you want to see? I mean, this has long been a promise here, ending contractualization in past administrations. I mean, this is not exactly new, but this time around, what are you hoping to see over the next 6 years?
Well, actually, there is a misconception on what the President Duterte promised. No, he promised everyone that he would end ENDO or 555. No, but for some reason, some people interpreted it as he promised to end all sorts of contractualization, and that is why if you will remember, that is why President Duterte vetoed the bill. No? I think there will be an attempt again to renew that call, but we have to remind everyone that what is being asked for in ending all sorts of contractualization is not done anywhere else in the world. Because there are some contractualizations that are really necessary for business to be competitive. Like, for instance, if you end all sorts of contractualizations, even BPOs, call centers, things like that, those will be banned. And remember, if we have a lot of OFWs working abroad, if they impose something like that, then our OFWs will no longer be welcome anywhere else in the world. And to be competitive, I think investors, people from abroad, would like to see that what is the practice and what is acceptable to ILO, International Labour Organization, should be the one here, no more, no less.
Okay.
And that is what we are trying to impose, or tell the people. We have already banned 555. It's illegal now, and so everybody who is employed after 6 months will be permanent. Okay. But the issue is they cannot be all permanent to the principal, because that is a decision where, for instance, if San Miguel is the one having service provider, they will be permanent with the service provider, not necessarily with San Miguel.
Sir, the incoming administration will be inheriting elevated levels of inflation here. Prices of homes, everything already higher here. Is the labor sector, is employers at least, are you amenable to another possibility of a second round of wage hikes here? And at what level are you at least willing to compromise when it comes to increasing wages?
We have the tripartite wage board now, and the rule is there will be an anniversary of 1 year before anything else is filed, an increase. No? But theoretically, that is what is the policy now, or that is the law now. So all all the regions have already decided on the wage increase, and even the domestic helper has been granted their wages already. So I don't think there is any possibility that any wage will be entertained within a period of 1 year. And besides, let me just that there are complaints, but actually when it came out, even it is far from what was requested or enjoined by the labor groups. There were no violent objections because I think they understand already that we have to address the issue not only on the basis of political or emotional, but the realities of the economy. We have to remember that there are 48 million in the labor market. When you raise wages, that only affects the formal sector, and that's only the minimum wage earners, only 10% of the labor market. So anything you do with the 10% will affect the 90%. If what will happen, for instance, to the tricycle driver, jeepney drivers, farm workers, small business, family business, and they are 90% of this. If you increase wages unreasonably high, those affected companies will raise their price and pass it on to the buyers. The minimum wage earners will just be chasing the price. But how about the 90%? Who have no employers to raise their wage? They will have to suffer the increases, the inflation that is created, and I think that's the reality that have to be accepted.
More and more employers adjusting the way they operate. Is work from home now becoming more and more a viable option here for employers, considering, of course, the rising cost of almost everything, not just fuel?
Well, work from home is fine. But those are limited to certain companies. Manufacturing, construction, bulk of their people cannot be work from home. So this work from home is mainly for backroom offices, for people, and there are not many. And many companies are still doing work from home, not because they find it more efficient, but because there are inherent problems still on transportation, for instance. There are people are having difficulty going to, and it's very expensive shuttling them. So eventually, as we normalize, the issue of work from home will disappear. Like students. Has to be face to face. There are inherent weakness in work from home, not seeing each other, and I think eventually people will just have to work because that's why in the office, because that's why what they are hired for, not to work from home.